What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Kecleon Media, and welcome back for another episode of Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Battle Spot Live Inverse Edition. This is episode number 7, and today we're bringing a brand new team. Oh yeah, I should probably go over our record too. We're sitting at 14-3 on the series, and like I said, I have some new, fresh faces here, and some familiar faces too, because a lot of these Pokemon have been in prior sessions. So we actually found a battle really fast. I just clicked challenge because it's been taking me forever to find a trainer to go up against. But let's go over the team really quick here. We have a Mega Glalie. It's a physical set with Return, Explosion, Ice Shard, and I think it has spikes on there too, so I don't know how useful that'll be on here, but yeah, that's what it has. Then we have Physically Defensive Weezing with a Rocky Helmet because I needed something that could, you know, at least take one hit from Mega Kangaskhan and Talonflame and those types of things. So I think it's packing Sludge Bomb, Will-O-Wisp, Flamethrower, and Pain. Did I say Pain Split already twice? I may have. I don't know, but that's what it has. Then we have Linda the Kecleon making her return. She is the Trick Room Last Resort Silk Scarf set that I enjoy using. Then we have Choice Specs Whimsicott with Switcheroo Nature Power, which turns into Tri-Attack on Battle Spot and in Wi-Fi battles, Giga Drain and Moonblast. We have Beheeyem because I wanted another Pokemon that could potentially take advantage of Trick Room. This thing also carries Trick Room, so it could also set it up for Linda the Kecleon if need be. I think it's also packing Psychic and Signal Beam, and I think it has a Life Orb and then Recover as its final move. And then last but not least, this was a suggestion that somebody mentioned maybe yesterday or the day before. Somebody wanted me to bring back the sub-disable Gengar, so we have that as well with Black Sludge, and it's got Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb, which are pretty decent coverage on Inverse. So there we go. We're going to get into the battle here and see what happens. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say, so I'm hoping that we can see Kecleon put in some work, and that's why I'm leading off with her here, because we're going to show no mercy, and that's what Linda does best. The rest of this team is kind of like, eh, but Linda is power. So we have Kecleon leading off here against an Electros. This could be like Assault Vest or something. A lot of them are, and it actually outspeeds us because I'm running Brave with no speed investment. So yeah, we take that Flamethrower very, very nicely, and we're going to be able to set up our Trick Room here. And I don't think that a Last Resort will OHKO at Electros because it is relatively bulky, but we should be able to take any other hit that this thing wants to go for, and then we should be able to outspeed everything on my opponent's team too. So he's going to opt to leave his Electros in here as we're going to fire off that Last Resort, and that is just a one-hit KO as Electros just falls to the ground. I underestimated the power of Linda yet again. I do it all the time. My goodness. Electros is not some frail Pokemon either. That is just crazy. Granted, it's Stab and 140 base power boosted by Silk Scarf. Excelgor, you're not going to be able to take that unless you are Focus Sash, which you are not. It gets a critical hit, but it doesn't really mean anything because if Electros is not taking it, Excelgor is definitely not taking it. We might see a Kecleon sweep right here, as the last Pokemon is going to be Breloom. This thing can't do anything to me. If he wants to Mach Punch, that's a resisted hit because this is Inverse. And so it's looking like we're going to get a win here, barring some kind of like strange miracle. This thing is probably going to be Focus Sash, so it will be able to get off one hit, and it may even be able to kill us off with a Bullet Seed if it really wants to here. But yeah, it is going to hang on with its Focus Sash as expected and go for a Force Palm to try to like get a Paralysis or something, which would actually help me under Trick Room. So I don't know why he did that. Maybe that was his only attacking move, although I kind of doubt it. What else would they run? Or it's possible that he was like Banded maybe, or Scarf. You never see Banded or Scarf Breloom though. No, it wasn't, because it was Focus Sash. What am I even talking about? What am I saying? I'm just disregarding the fact that he just survived the Last Resort with a Focus Sash and then wondering if he's Scarf or Banded right after. Classic me move right there. I swear when I'm commentating, I say really stupid things. So that's a victory for us. It brings the record up to 15-3 on the series, and we can go ahead and search for another battle here. It's looking like this is going to be a 3-battle episode just because we are just approaching the 5-minute mark now, and we already have one battle under our belt. we may see a lot of fast battles. It depends on how often I use Linda. She just makes quick work of teams, because especially on inverse, nothing resists last resort. You know, if they don't have like Hippowdon or something, they're kind of screwed. So this is a pretty interesting team I see here. We see the Breloom again. Volcarona is not nearly as much of a threat in inverse, although I mean I guess it kind of is. What I should be saying is that its fire typing is not as much of a threat. The bug typing is, because bug is fantastic coverage in inverse. But I do have Glalie, which can, you know, finish it off with an Ice Shard if we can get some prior damage going on it. I kind of want to lead off with Whimsicott because it can do a lot of damage to the likes of the Thundurus and the Latios and the Volcarona, and we outspeed that. We should be able to take it out with a Giga Drain before it can do anything. I outspeed the Kangaskhan too, but Sucker Punch would be something we'd have to watch out for. So I'm just going to lead off with the Whimsicott. We do have to bring Wheezing, unfortunately. Wheezing is probably going to be one of those Pokemon that is in almost every battle, just because that's how often I see Mega Kangaskhan. And every time I see a Mega Kangaskhan, I have to bring whatever my defensive check is to it. Otherwise, yeah, they're just going to tear through your team. And there's not really much you can do about it. If we run into a Mega Lucario, we basically just lose. But that's all there is to it. So he's actually going to lead off with the Kangaskhan, which is not what I wanted. I guess I'm going to have to make a hard switch into Wheezing here. I don't see any way around it. I am not about to take a Fake Out here. If he goes for Power-Up Punch, I don't know if, like, 4 Power-Up Punches will kill me. It might, because it's super effective, because this is inverse. So, Wheezing is a little bit of a softer check for Kangaskhan in inverse for that reason. But he actually goes for the Earthquake, which would take out Whimsicott, because, you know, Grass typing does not like ground in inverse. But that's perfect, because I just get a safe switch into Wheezing, and now I can fire off a Sludge Bomb here, because my opponent may try to switch in Volcarona on a predicted like Will-O-Wisp or something, so I would like to get damage off on that if he does bring that in, and it turns out that he does in fact switch in the Volcarona, so I can get that Sludge Bomb off. My screen is doing weird things. Like it's skipping frames. I don't know if that's showing up in the recording. There were times where it did that before, and I could see it while I was recording it, and then when the video was completely rendered and finished, in the final product, you couldn't really see it, or it wasn't very noticeable. So I'm hoping that this doesn't show up too much, or if it does, it's not to the point where it makes the video unwatchable. Not that it's not already unwatchable, just because of the fact that I have a Kecleon on my team. and a Whimsicott. I'm not using the annoying Whimsicott set, though. I'm using Choice Specs, because that's my favorite Whimsicott set by far. But this is a problem, because he can just OHKO my Wheezing with a Bug Buzz right now. And if he sets up a Quiver Dance, I think I just lose. This is actually quite bad, because I don't think that Ice Shard is going to kill him from here. So he's just going to go for Bug Buzz as I switch in my Glalie. And it's going to drop my special defense and do like 75%. And now I basically have to Ice Shard. So if I Ice Shard and he Quiver Dances, I should be able to kill him with another Ice Shard. So he has to either kill me or switch out here. So, actually it's probably better for me to go for a return here, because he might just switch. And if he kills me, then I'm just going to go right into Whimsicott and I get a free hit off on something. And if he leaves his Volcarona in, at that point, Giga Drain will kill it, because it is 4 times super effective. So I'm expecting him to actually want to switch, and that is exactly what he does. So we're going to get our Mega Evolution off for free here and get a decent hit off on this Breloom. This is also good for me, because I break this thing Sash if it is carrying it, which I'm assuming it is, because like 95% of Brelooms on Battle Spot, maybe even more than that, carry Focus Sash. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite do half. Yeah, I mean, I do resist Mach Punch, so there's that. But it still might kill, because Glalie does not have the best defenses. I really needed to have that do more than 50%, though. So I'm going to have to go for Explosion here to ensure that I get the KO. He actually outspeeds speeds me and goes for Bullet Seed. What is going on here? He is Scarf? Scarf Breloom? Are we serious right now? That's pretty cool to see, but that just sweeps my team. Because Wheezing is not going to take multiple hits from that. I mean, I'm weak to grass. So I'm going to get outsped and hit with a Bullet Seed. And if I go into Whimsicott, that's also going to be hit super effectively by Bullet Seed, which he's locked into. So my only hope is if he is somehow not running like max speed or something, and I'm faster than him, even though he's Scarfed. I don't think that's going to happen. But otherwise, this thing just 3-0s me. Yeah, there's really nothing I can do. Wow, okay. I'm about to get 3-0'd by a Breloom. Fair enough. And it wasn't even Focus Sash. That was the last thing I was expecting, was for this thing to be Scarf, because you just never see that. I think it's really cool that we're seeing a Scarf Breloom, because it's at about that speed tier where, you know, it's not really too fast, but it has a decent amount of power. You know, Bullet Seed hits multiple times, so it can get through sashes. And I can see that, you know, Breloom would make a decent Scarfer. It's just nobody uses it that way. It looks like he's going to need 4 hits to take me out here. Actually, maybe 3? Oh, it's not going to matter because he gets a critical hit, but only hits twice. And Sludge Bomb is not very effective. Yeah. So we do get the poison, of course, just to add insult to injury, because I have no chance of winning. That's when I get the hacks that I want. Whenever it doesn't matter, that's when I, you know, get all the poisons and burns and paras and all that other stuff. So yeah, we get 3-0'd by a Breloom. I don't think I could have played that any differently that I can think of. I mean, unless I just went straight for Explosion and not for Return while the Breloom was switching in. But I didn't feel like that was necessary. I didn't think it was going to cost me the match if I did that. But I don't know. Hindsight is 20/20, I guess. Anyway, that's going to be a loss for us. That brings our record to 15-4 on the series, and that was only about 12 minutes long. So we are going to look for one more before we call it quits for the first episode of this session. And if we can get Behemoth in some action, that would be fun. Or have Whimsicott actually be able to do something would be extra cool too. And Gengar. Gengar hasn't gotten into a battle yet. Only Linda. Linda has been the mainstay. She's been the powerhouse. So let's see if BattleSpot can find us a trainer to go up against in a relatively timely manner. Unfortunately, this is this time of day where there's like only Japanese players on, which kind of stinks. But there's not really much I can do about that. Although it feels like no matter when I go on, I just only go up against Japanese players. Okay, so we got somebody from Tokyo here. Jolteon, Espeon, Glalie, Mega Kangaskhan Superior, and Avalugg. So basically standard.jpg for inverse here with an Espeon. That's like the only thing out of place. Although Glalie, I haven't seen a lot of Glalie either. I figured I would see more because Ice is such a good defensive typing and an okay offensive typing in inverse. It's not great. It's not as good as it is normally, but it's not awful. So I'm going to actually bring my own Glalie because I'm pretty sure that's one of the only physical attackers that I have that can break through that Avalugg, and it'll take on the opposing Glalie relatively nicely. I'll bring Whimsicott, and unfortunately I do have to bring Wheezing again because we see Kangaskhan. But when do you not see Kangaskhan? You know, I don't know. It's something that you run into all the time. I need to bring Frank the Arcanine back. I should probably do that in the regular BattleSpot series, though, just because in inverse, Fire's not the greatest typing in the world. Unless it's paired with something else, like, you know, Volcarona has Bug, which is really great offensively. But, yeah, so we have Jolteon here against Glalie, and this thing should not be able to take me out in one hit with anything, and I should be able to OHKO it with a Refrigerate boosted return. So if he wants to stay in, which apparently he does want to, as my screen is again moving like in slow motion there, I don't know what's going on, but he's actually going to fire off a Hyper Voice. I always forget that Jolteon gets this, but obviously it does because, you know, Sylveon does. So we can go for the return there. We did take a lot of damage from that Hyper Voice, but Jolteon is out of the way, which is actually kind of a big problem for my team because it's so fast, and Electric is pretty good offensively. You know, you can't stop it with ground types anymore. So he's going to go into his Espeon here. This thing does outspeed me by a few base points. Let's see. I actually resisted Stab with Wheezing. So we could switch in. I mean, it depends on what its item is. If it's like choiced in some way and we can get it locked into Psychic or even better, Psyshock, then we will be in a great position. But we'll have to see. So into Wheezing we go, and it's actually going to go for Signal Beam, not a Stab move, and that is going to be almost an OHKO. I don't see a Life Orb or anything. Is that Choice Specs? That did a lot of damage for a non-stab move. I feel like that might be Choice Specs. So he's just going to go for Signal Beam again, and Wheezing is going to go down, and I'm sure his last Pokemon is going to be like Mega Kangaskhan now, and we just lost. But I do outspeed with Whimsicott naturally, so I'm going to go right out into that. I'm assuming that a Choice Specs Stab Giga Drain will be enough for a 2-hit KO. And if his last Pokemon is superior, then we're just going to win at that point. And it doesn't do half. Are you kidding me? I should have went for Moonblast. But I did not want that superior coming in. But anyway, Signal Beam only does about half to us, although it does a little bit over half. But I will get some of that HP back when I go for Giga Drain. So I guess it's not the end of the world. We just had to take a bit of extra damage there. So we'll see if he wants to stay in and just continually go for Signal Beam. I'm assuming he is Choice Specs, just because he would have gone for a Psychic type move there if he was able to, because that would do more damage thanks to Stab. But yeah, what do you want to do, my friend? Do you want to just get more damage off, or do you want to go into your last Pokemon? It turns out he's going to make the switch here into Glalie. Okay, well, I do outspeed this, and I resist the... Wow, that did nothing. This is Choice Specs. Did I forget to give you Choice Specs? No, you're lefties. Oh no, you're not even Mega Glalie. I know what this set is. It's Moody. He gets a special attack raise. I don't think that's going to matter. Most of these sets just go for Protect and like Substitute and things like that, just until they get an accuracy boost, and then they hit you with Sheer Cold. And I really can't do anything about that. I mean, he could be a different set. He could be an attacking set without Sheer Cold. Do I go into Glalie now, or do I try to attack? I'm gonna attack him here. I don't think he's gonna go for Protect. Are you really gonna be that set? Oh dear. This does not look good for me. He is gonna Protect. Watch him get the accuracy boost this time. Watch it happen. It's going to. If he gets it, it's pretty much game over at that point. Come on. Yep, he gets the accuracy boost. Does he have a speed boost? No, his speed fell. But I can't kill him. Great. Great. That's pretty much game. Because he's going to hit a Sheer Cold here. And if I let him kill my Whimsicott, I'll go into Glalie, finish him off with a return, and then he'll go into Espeon, which outspeeds me and just finish me off, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I get the Giga Drain off, and there's the Sheer Cold. I knew it. Protect Sheer Cold. Just, you know, great strategy right there. Lovely strategy. So we're going to lose twice, unfortunately, today. It's been a while since we've had 2 losses in one episode, but I'm fine if it comes to something that is not under my control. When it's 2 ridiculous sets like this, it's a little bit frustrating, but it's, you know, it is what it is. You play on Battle Spot, you play against these type of players that, you know, you're expecting to run into shenanigans like that. So he's actually going to go for Protect this turn. Why? Why are you going for Protect? You can just come in with Espeon and finish me off. I mean, I'm going to kill you anyway. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Oh, he's going to get an evasiveness boost now as his accuracy is going to fall back down. So he's not even going to need Watch me miss. I guarantee I'm going to miss this. 100%. Yep, there it is! And he's going to finish me off with a Frost Breath. Oh, lovely. Absolutely lovely. And he gets a critical hit just to add insult to injury. That was ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Alright, that's going to bring our record to 15-5, and we're just not going to speak of this anymore because I just don't know what to say. So 15-5 is the record after a 1-2 record on the day. Linda the Kecleon did bail us out with that win in the first part, or yeah, the first battle of this episode. We do have 2 more parts left remaining, though. Left remaining. That's a bit redundant wording. 2 parts left. And or remaining, I guess is what I should say. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure you are leaving a like rating or a comment or whatever you would like to do, of course. And I will see you all next time. But until then, game on.